Here we go.
Star Wars Attack of the Clones. This is Frank's favorite movie in the world, so he should get 100% on all of these.
Top of my list out of all of them.
It was released on May 16th, 2002, and coincidentally enough, I'm going to have more videos coming up. We're going to be covering Phantom Menace. We'll also be covering the original trilogy as one video. We're not going to do, we'll eventually do individual ones for each of the Star Wars movies, but we're going to do the original trilogy all as one. And I remember Lan and I went and saw Phantom Menace together. We had those tickets. Yeah. We waited in line, the whole thing. Nice. I never saw Attack of the Clones in the theater.
I did.
You don't sound too excited about that.
Was it all these came out around the time of my birthday? They were either on my birthday or this one, like you said, the 16th was about 10 days before. So it was always like a birthday event for me. And I remember leaving that one going, what the living?
What the bejesus? Look at this guy. Look at that sack on his chin.
I think that's a woman.
Look at the backpack on one of the cameramen.
Female Twi'lek.
There's another thing. Do you call it Twi'lek or Twi'lek?
I just think Twi'lek sounds cooler than Twi'lek.
I think they're both acceptable, but here we go. I got 7 statements here, and the gentlemen are going to have to guess whether or not that statement is a fact or it is fiction based on Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Not Clone Wars, Frank.
Clone Wars.
He was calling it Clone Wars earlier, but here we go.
That's
Number 1.
They called it in the original.
Fact or fiction? Attack of the Clones was the first major Hollywood film shot entirely on digital cameras. Lan.
Fact. Sure.
Frank.
Attack of the Clones sounds like Attack of the Clowns. Fact.
Yeah, you both get the point.
In there. Yeah.
George Lucas used the Sony HDW F900 digital camera, making Attack of the Clones the first blockbuster shot entirely on digital instead of film. This was a bold move back in 2002, and it was controversial as well. Many directors weren't ready to abandon film, but Lucas pushed the industry forward for better or worse, however you want to see that. Fact or fiction, Hayden Christensen was the only actor considered for Anakin Skywalker. Frank.
That is fiction.
Lan.
Yeah, fiction.
Christensen ultimately landed the role, but Leonardo DiCaprio, Ryan Philippe, and even Paul Walker were rumored candidates. Lucas reportedly wanted someone relatively unknown to preserve the mystique of the character, and Hayden fit that mold.
There you go.
Fact or fiction, the infamous "I don't like sand" scene was improvised by Hayden Christensen. Lan.
Fiction.
Frank.
Attack of the Sand. That sounds fiction. It sounds like something to be written.
Yeah, sadly for him, that line was 100% scripted by George Lucas. It's often mocked for being awkward, but Christensen has defended it, saying it reflected Anakin's emotional immaturity and isolation, which you kind of get. Like, he's an awkward kid, right?
It's just delivered wrong, and the line was just written bad.
Raging hormones!
What would that be the worst line of that trilogy, or would it be the Obi-Wan going, he killed younglings?
Oh my god, no, dude, any line from Jar Jar Binks is the worst in this movie. Like,
Remember, he's
true,
the
like,
ultimate Sith, though.
God, I like Phantom Menace. There's the scenes where they're down with like the Gungans, and he's like, "I'm staying. It better be dead down here than up there. What it means to saying?" And he's like shut the up, God damn it!
Any Jar Jar lines or any lines from the battle droids?
What are you talking about? Roger. Those are the best.
Roger.
Where were we? Here we go. Fact or fiction? The clone troopers in the movie were played by real actors in armor. Frank.
A lot of them were CGI. I'm gonna go fiction.
Lan.
I mean, at least one of them was, but yeah, fiction. I think the majority is CG.
Every single clone trooper in Attack of the Clones was completely CGI. Not one was an actor in a physical costume. The technology at the time made it easier to animate identical movements, but in hindsight, some of the fans thinks it looks a little too clean. Like how you have them kind of
that was
doing all
the problem I had with it.
Doing all the things at the same time.
The things
and the stuff and the things.
Everything just
Hello
looked too
there.
fake.
What?
And they can't
Everything
bump
just
their
looked
heads
too
onto
fake.
the doors and stuff like in Star Wars.
I know.
Yeah. Or the Shockmaster when he comes through the wall.
The Shockmaster.
Fact or fiction? Ewan McGregor's beard in Attack of the Clones was fake. Lan.
Fiction.
Frank.
I'm gonna go fact, but I don't know.
Sometimes it is. In some of the scenes. During reshoots, McGregor had already shaved for another role, so the crew used a glued-on fake beard that fans still spot in some of the close-ups.
Yeah.
God.
Look at that.
There are some
Looks like
scenes
Jesus.
where it's obviously fake. I do like those where, like, you'll see the meme online where somebody's got like a Catholic grandma or something, and they'll swap out the picture of Jesus and put in a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Fact or fiction? You see the Death Star plans in Attack of the Clones. Frank.
That's fact.
Lan.
Yeah, that was fact because I jumped out of my seat when I saw it.
You are both correct. You
little
both get the
bug
points. Yeah, it's one of those blink and you're going to miss it moments, but on Geonosis, the Death Star blueprint hologram appears in Poggle the Lesser's lab. Did you know that's what it was called, by the way? Poggle the Lesser's lab?
Is that Poggle right there?
Setting up the Empire's future. It's one of the earliest breadcrumbs dropped in the prequels that directly ties into the original trilogy.
So this is the problem I had with that, though. And even still, like, I think it's one of the things they forget because in the original trilogy, it's made it seem like the Empire comes across and makes it. And then in Rogue One, you have that one guy, I can't remember the bad guy's name in there. He's having it designed and put together, and that one girl's father is one of the reasons it's
Mads
being built.
Mikkelsen!
Right, but yet nothing is ever said about the bug creatures giving them these plans, and these guys are like termites. They're living in mud huts. How the hell are they going to have technology to build that thing when they're still living in like mud hut?
My assumption is the reason they had the plans there was because they were helping supply some of the materials.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and then part of the
I just made that up.
factions that were in the whatever you want to call it, the coalition of the
Damn.
people that were rebelling or whatever,
Uh-huh.
were those techno guys, those robot guys.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
probably the ones who designed a lot of it.
This is
the
true.
dude that kept when we talk like and he's changing it to fix it. It's like he was talking perfectly normal and changes it to where you can't hear him and then comes back. It's like, what the fuck did you mess with your mouth for? It was working fine.
Leave it alone, robot.
That
Well, and you got to remember too, Rogue One wasn't written
shit.
by.
Wrong one.
guy was in Star
Wasn't
Wars
written by
too.
George Lucas.
He had his arm cut off by Obi-Wan in the first
I know.
movie.
It's Undababa.
I forgot I had that picture because I totally forgot. I totally forgot the final picture for this one. So I'll just bring this one up here. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Hey.
Fact or fiction? Hayden Christensen kept ruining takes in Attack of the Clones because he would make lightsaber sounds with his mouth. Lan.
Fact.
Frank.
I
That
do
sounds
the
like
same.
something I would do. So
Yeah.
facts.
That is a fact. George Lucas would have to stop filming and tell Christensen, Hayden, that looks really great, but I can see your mouth moving. You don't have to do that. We add the sound effects in afterward.
If I was like shooting the guns, I'd be going like pew pew pew.
Well,
pew.
if I remember correctly, they weren't the only ones that would do this. I want to say Ewan McGregor admitted to doing it as well. And a lot of the guys who come in, controlling a lightsaber for the first time, whether it's on a TV show or in a movie, you've probably done it so many times. Like when you were younger, you're used to making your own sound effects. So
Yeah, I feel like
I heard
a kid
Alec
again.
Guinness did it too.
And so did Prowse. Well, he was in
David
the suit.
Prowse, yeah.
David Prowse.
They're like,
did it as well.
that was the noise it made. They're like, that's what I imagine it sounds
Frank
like.
Oz was doing
Why
it.
does it sound like a
Frank-
blowjob? What?
Frank Oz was doing it when he was
glug glug.
when he was moving Yoda around. He was thundering him. Meow, meow, meow. How would that be backwards? Would it be backwards for Yoda? It would be like meow, meow, meow.
Sounds like a cat.
I was gonna say then he sounds like a cat.